Hi everybody, this is Lynn from Creative Concept Crafts with another of my new designs, and this one is the Bookatrix Swirl. I think it's such a pretty design and it can be used for so many things. This one here that I've got on display at the minute, if you look at it, there's very little decoration. There's one of the Flower and Flourishes flowers with some of the leaves and just a die cut sentiment on its little stand, and in the monochrome it just looks so cute. You can put sentiments on the pages underneath as well if you wish, and there's the little stand which also has a cutout, and you can actually use the cutouts as flourishes as well on your cards. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. There's 4 sizes, well should I say there's 2 complete sizes, but with a number of variations. So this is the large piece, the Swirl, which has its partner, which is the plain piece. The point is the base of the card, by the way, in case you're wondering which way is up, excuse me. So that's the large size. The small size I'm bringing on now is the same as the black one that you saw at the beginning. That's the Swirl piece, and again it has its own partner, the plain piece. And basically that's the 4 component parts apart from the stand. But there's a multitude of ways you can put this together. I'm just going to show you a few of them. You may be able to find more. And I'm also going to show you how to form and shape the cards as well. So there's the small version. And there's the large version. There's the 2 plain pieces you could use. There's the 2 swirl pieces. So that's 3, 4 styles. Plus you can put them all together. You can use 3 pieces. That would be another one. Or you can use all 4. I've actually used sorbet colours here, and I think they look so pretty together. It's Lidl's cardstock, so it's about a 280 GSM. I'm just going to show you how we shape the card. So all I'm doing is just burnishing the fold lines to give you the spine of the book to start off with. Take it to the end of the table, and from one of the fold lines, pull down with one hand and allow it to slide down the table with your other hand. So I'm holding it so that it's shaping as it goes. Can you see there's a nice curl in there and the flattened part for the spine? So now I'm going to show you how we do the swirl piece. Again, burnishing along the score lines, but don't flatten down the swirl. Try and stay off that if you can and just concentrate on the actual score line. Again, taking it towards the end of the table. One hand on the top, the card will slide through while you're pulling it down with your other hand. Turn around again from the score line, pull down, and there we have the first piece is complete. Just going to whiz through this next little piece because I'm just repeating the same thing again with the 2 larger pieces. Again, make sure you don't flatten down the swirl part, just concentrate on those score lines. And there you have the 4 pieces ready for decorating in whichever combination you'd like. I was also tempted to bring in a lemon into this sorbet. That would have gone with this colour combination well too. Now this is absolutely great for any occasion, is this card. Put it into your reds, your greens, your blues for Christmas. Here I'm just showing you the spine part. That's where you would add double-sided tape. So depending on how many pieces you're going to be putting together, just add a little piece of double-sided tape. If I use a textured card, I will use red liner. This is the stand. The little pieces that have punched out on the stand you can actually use as flourishes as well. I use double thickness because when you start to decorate the Bookatrix, it can get a little bit top heavy, and I've found the best way to counter it is to just double up your cardstock and it will sit just nicely after that. There's a fold line that's been burnished on this. I'm just adding glue with my fine tipped applicator, just around in all the little fiddly bits as well. Just dotted and dabbed all the way around. Line up with the piece underneath. And then I'm just going to pop it down onto the table and burnish it down. Get well into the score line as well, really push it in and get a good bite down that spine. Okay, so that's one side done. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, but don't try and flatten the stand down. The card's shaped, the stand is shaped. Even if you're wanting to pop this into an envelope, it will go in. Don't flatten it completely. The stand will sit underneath the card. When I give these cards, they're either posted out in a box, in a plain box, or if I'm actually giving them in person, I would probably put them in a decorative box with an acetate lid and probably a flower or something decorated on the outside of the box, and they are stunning. Okay, so again, I've dotted and dabbed the glue on the other half of the stand. Again, really get into that crease line as you burnish. And there we have the stand ready to go. So I'm just going to bring in the pieces that I did just to show you. The stand just sits over. This is going to fall off because none of the pieces are added together, but it just gives you an idea of where and how it stands. Okay. How pretty is that? And there's nothing on it. Okay, so I'm actually going to decorate one that I've already partly prepared. This card I've actually used a pearlized cardstock. Again, it's around the 270 mark, I would think, and I've had the ink out and I've done a little bit of inking round the swirl and just around the edge of the card. For those of you who have got my kaleidoscope flower collection, and I know there's quite a few of you have, I've used one medium flower here, two small flowers and a few of the leaves, which again I've inked the edges and I've added a little pearl into the centre. So I've used a mixture of the filled and skeleton leaves. This is a little die cut that I've done which has its own backer, which I'm going to add. This would be suitable for any occasion, but I think with love it covers quite a few under the one banner. But Christmas, birthday, anniversary, new baby, I think I've done virtually every occasion there is on this particular style of card. So I've added a little bit of red liner tape on this because this is a textured card. I find that the red liner tape is a little bit stronger and it sticks. So I'm just going to remove the backer. And just pop that down. In case you're wondering which end of the card is the right way up, the point goes towards the base of the card. At the top there's like a little heart that is cut out. But it's the point down at the base. Just showing you there, that's the bit that goes onto the stand, and there's the heart at the top there, where I'm just pointing my little finger. And again, I would probably add sentiments underneath, but for this one, I'm just doing the top decoration for you. Sorry, I can't do it back to front yet, girls. I'm new to this videoing So you have to put up with it being upside down for you. I'm adding the medium flour and I'm letting it flow over the edge of the card. Make sure you don't get any glue onto the underside, just in case you want to add a sentiment underneath. So I've just taken care to make sure that the glue hasn't gone over. Adding a little bit of glue to the next flower, and what I'm going to do is just push those petals inside of one another so that they're almost getting an interconnection. Put it into position where I want it and press it down. And I'm going to repeat again with the other flower. I'm just looking to try and get sort of a swirl of a line coming round and down on the card. So interlock, just wiggle into position where you're happy with it before you push it down. And now we're going to bring in a few of the leaves. I've got a mixture of the skeleton and the filled leaf here from the Kaleidoscope collection. Alternatively, you could equally use the Flower and Flourishes flower collection, would look equally as good. I'm just dotting a little bit of glue just on the three petals closest to the stem. So it's approximately half of the leaf I'm adding glue to. I like the rest of it to float. Again, it all adds to the dimension of the card. And just push it underneath the flower, so we're just hiding the edge of the stem. And again, just adding a little bit of glue, just dotting and dabbing just on those edge pieces. Again, tuck it under the flower and allow it to flow over the end of the card. Again, be careful you don't get any glue onto that base layer. You want to leave it sitting up. And the third piece on here. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this one, girls. See all the variations. I just absolutely adore doing these cards. I think they're great. There we go. It's all ready. You can see where we're going with this one. I'm just going to add another couple of leaves at the other side. Again, just dotting and dabbing, using a couple of the skeleton leaves on this side. I want them there, but not too much. So the skeleton works perfectly because it's not with it showing the open colour through. And we're coming up to the final leaf on this little part. I always work in odd numbers as well when I'm decorating anything. It's always 3s, 5s, 7s. I never use even numbers, and I know some of you will disagree, but there we are. I think flower arrangers tend to do the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. How pretty does that look? So we're just to add the sentiment, the die cut sentiment here. What I did, I have a die cut that has a backer. And I wanted a little bit more dimension than that. So what I did, I cut the backer out twice. The first piece was on the pearlized, which I inked. The sentiment was inked. And then I cut the backer out again on Rainbow Mirror. And what I did was just cut away the edge so that you could see the die cut, the inked piece just behind it. Just added a little bit more to the dimension. I've put some double-sided foam tape between the mirror and the backer, and on the back, of course, to add it to the card. And there we go. And I'm just going to add the last few leaves. I think the leaves I've used here again are the medium and the small ones from the Kaleidoscope collection. This time I decided I wasn't going to ink them, so I have actually left these 3 leaves with no inking at all. So it's just the pearlized cardstock that I've used. Again, just tuck under the stem, under the sentiment, I'm again just adding the glue just to the edge of half of that leaf, allowing it to flow over into the swirl. And the last one. Just again tucking underneath the sentiment. Push into place. And there we go. What do you think of that one, girls? Do you like it? You could probably add a little bit more if you wanted to add any more gems or anything, but because of the style of this card, I quite like it as it is. And there's the little matching stand again. I've cut it out double and I've inked the edges and inked the colour just around the cutout section as well. And there we go. Thank you.